Hi guys, welcome back to Photogrammetry process for vegetation in Unreal Engine 5 part 2. So in this section of the video, I will be showing you how to unwrap the tileable section of the tree trunk. Then we will go into details of how to separate the top part of the tree from the bottom unique part, which you can see right here. So this is the unique part about to this height. Then over that is the tileable. So this tree is only very short. I will show you with an example, like when I turn on the human scale reference here. You can see the tree is very short. So it's only up to the hip level of a human. So this is 5 feet 6 inches high human. So we need to have at least the tree has to be this high to start to get the branches out like that. It's a bad drawing, but you get the idea. So I need to find out a way to use this section of the tree to entirely tile up to maybe here. So that's a plan for today. So once we finish this the tiling section, I can use that tiling section to create all the branches of the tree, which I'll be showing you in a different video. So let's get started. So for this tree, right now in Substance Designer, we have so I slightly modified it from the last time we have seen it. I will explain what I did step by step, because I'm not going to create a separate substance graph for it, because it's a double process. So what I want to do is, first when I go to the Unwrap UV modifier and open the UV settings right here on UV editor, you can see I slightly modified it. What changes did I do? So earlier in the last version, this portion of the tree of the UV was here. So this was one single flat UV island. So what I did, what essentially did is I want to tile it from here to here. So if you look at this screenshot right here, look very carefully. You can see a seam. So I manually made that seam just because I need to get a smooth tiling from here to here, right? So when I tile the texture vertically like this, I cannot see any seam here. So what can I do about it? So the best way is to make a cut. So make a cut here and move that piece up to the top. So I'll just undo it. So if you check this top seam, I'll go here and double click on it. You can see that seam exactly matches with the one below here. So it is tiling. So that's the main thing. That's the main thing you should do before you even start tiling in Photoshop, because tiling in Photoshop is really time consuming, and it's based on certain that is not based on any absolute values. So you just assume that, okay, this part might tile here, this part might tile here. No, it won't work like that. So this has to be tiling perfectly one to one. So if you look at this here, this vertices match perfectly with that one. So after creating this, I exported this just like the way we did yesterday. I mean in the previous part. Going to Designer, I'll show you the normals. So this is a normal map with the top and the bottom. So you can see the top and the bottom exactly at the same way we saw. So I will show you what I mean by perfectly tiling. Now if I zoom in here and press the space bar, you can see Designer shows you how it is tiling from this part to this part. So if you zoom really close in, you cannot see any seam here because it's perfectly tiling. That's the biggest advantage of using that half UV. So you cut here, move one of the chunk down or up, whichever way you want, you can do it. Now in the midsection here, whatever you do, it doesn't matter, because this is all that matters for getting a good tiling. You can easily blend this UV chunk with another UV chunk in Photoshop. So that is easy. So what is this one? I got a piece in the middle. If you zoom in, you can see that it is a separate UV chunk. What is this? So to make things much more easier to tile in Photoshop, what I did in Max is I split this part into two, so the top and the bottom. So make a separate geometry out of this, like that. So that is just the top portion of the geometry. So the only difference is if I select these two, and if I go to Unwrap UV modifier, scroll down, and where is it? And open UV editor, you can see that these two are the pieces we have already seen. Then go to element, select these two. So you see the top two pieces. So the top and the bottom tiling pieces, and this is just the middle, and that's a separate mesh. So why I'm doing this is because it'll make it easier in Photoshop. Like it is really hard to tile this and this in Photoshop. You have to bring both down, and all the seam may not match properly. So once you have a good chunk here, you can use this one to tile. Also, I made a small adjustment here. So if I bring this and this directly into the middle, you will see an obvious repeating pattern. So for this one, if you look carefully, the UV seam is in the other end. So for this one, the UV seam is around here, and for the other two, the UV seam, UV seam is, let me select these two, control click, is around here. So the other one is like exactly at the back. So why I'm doing that? So when I do that, what I'm getting is this middle UV chunk is totally different from these two. So I'll get more variation for tiling. So I can easily fill up these two gaps in Photoshop now. It won't be that obvious when I tile it. So I bring that piece into Designer, and this is the second piece. But just bake it as a separate geometry, right? If you look at the resources, I got the tree bake high, tree bake low. Then I have another one called tree bake midsection. So this midsection is the one I exported as this one from Max. This just let me close this UV. It will be confusing for you guys. So this section, it's called midsection. So the high poly is the same, only this separate mesh, that's all. But the only drawback in this method is you'll have to bake it separately. So this is the first bake model information. You can see the UVs here. It is the same. For the second one, for the bake midsection low, if you look at it, it's only this small piece in the middle. Then I blend them both in a using a blend node with blending mode as overlay. Overlay is fine because you don't need an alpha channel to blend it. So the only problem with this method is while delighting. So you need separate UVs. Separate ambient occlusion maps to delight. So the first one, I use delight from the original AO. Then for the second one, I use delight from the second bake. So that's the second bake mixed with the normals AO, then combine it to multiply, then use that here for the second delight. So these are all the same. Lighting cancel high and low frequencies, blend them here. So this is a small tweak I did. So I generated a bit an opacity mask from the bake. So that's the easiest way. You can even use Photoshop, but here I just use that has a separate baking channel. So go to bake model information, and you can find this as opacity mask. This is the one I added later. So bake everything into one color map, then just run a sharpen through it. Sharpen can be done at the end. You don't need to do it now. Then there was a roughness also I did. Roughness was done like this. So from the color map, run it through an HSL with saturation 0. Then bring in the ambient occlusion just to get those dark areas in. Then grayscale conversion inverted. So right now it is rough in the deep areas and little bit of polished or smooth in the higher areas. And that is the final node, the texture, and you get all the textures here exported. So this will not make any difference in the final mesh unless you change it. So we need to change the final mesh, which has to be used in Unreal, because I cannot use the previous one, because the previous one I'll show you. So this one was the one we used in Unreal. So if we check the UVs for this, so UV is like the old method. So I need to cut this and move this up. So that's a little bit. It may not match with the original one. So what we'll do is I'll bring this geometry, make a copy, tree mesh test 01, and just scale it as per the other one. Move it here for UV, scale it up and match it slightly. You don't have to be exact, but match it somewhat close to the other one, and just delete the old geometry and check the UVs once more just to make sure that yeah, now it's fine. Now reset XForm, because you have to make sure that the scale is the scale coordinates is just 100. Now I'm going to export it to Unreal. In Unreal, we can just try and export this tree and just check if it is fine. If it is fine, we won't be even doing anything on it right now. So go to Vegetation, trees, wall tree, test 01 static mesh, just re-import. There's a little bit of problem here. That's because our UVs are at the top and the bottom, remember? So the midsection, we need to bring it. So the texture was not exported yet. So I'll go to designer and just export it. So export outputs, everything is fine. Just export done. Now go to Unreal. The textures, just bring in everything back. Tree, bark, base color. Let's start from here. Maybe I just select all of them. Right click, re-import. Yeah, now it's perfect. So I'm not seeing any seam here. There's a little bit of color difference. I think that is because of the normal map. Yeah, so that is pretty much it for unwrapping the tree and bring it here and testing. So now we will we're going to Photoshop and make the tileable texture. I will show you how to create tileable texture using smart layers or smart objects. I don't know what it's called exactly. So let me so get the texture from here, not the one from sharpen, because sharpen is be a bit distorted. So this one, select this texture here. So get the highest resolution and just copy, go into Photoshop, get a new document, it'll come automatically from clipboard and create, and just Control V, paste. That's it. Now same thing, go to normal. Normal can be both combined. There's combine normal. Copy with Photoshop, paste, then again substance, so color normal, and now we get the AO. So AO, the only thing is that we don't want this AO from the texture from normal map. So what I'm going to do is, just for the purpose of Photoshop tiling, I will just blend these two in using multiply, this and this. Maybe I can even use a mask. So what I can use is just do this and get a mask from here. So this mask, I can get this combined AO from these two. So this texture, copy it here, copy it into Photoshop. So that is the AO. So I got AO, normal, this color. I don't need the background, just delete that layer. So then I need the roughness. So go down here to roughness. Roughness is fine. Roughness, you can actually use this directly, this one, the one which we inverted from the color map. Then get a copy into Photoshop, then you got roughness. Okay, so I'll just make a small arrangement here. So roughness and AO keep at the bottom, normal and color keep at the top. So color is the top. So select all of them, create a group, and just call it wall tree tiling source. It's a tiling source texture. I will just convert this into a smart object. So convert to smart object. Why we are converting to smart object is because when I cannot use clone stamping to create all the layers. So what I can do is I can make a copy of this entire texture, move it, and use masking to unhide areas which I need. So that is how I will be tiling this section. And also one more thing to remember is once you create a smart object, when I double click on it, I will have all the layers visible. So when I want to work on color, I use a color map, mask it here, and then go back to no, color is fine. I can just save it directly from here. Then when I want to save the normals, go here, just turn off the color and hit Ctrl S, save. And when you go back to the main source map, you get this normal map for the entire texture. So that's a use of using that's the advantage of using this smart object. So I'm going back here to the main layer. I'll just save. So remember to save always. Content, I save it in the same folder as the source. So vegetation, trees, wall tree source. I'll save under substance. There should be a dependencies folder. Then just save it as texture, wall tree, just wall tree tile 01. So this is actually a tiling source. Okay, so the next thing is the next thing I need to do is yeah, I will start tiling now. So the first step is to make a copy. So just Control J, duplicate this layer, and just apply a layer mask on it. So right now, keep this mask as white. You don't have to change it. Just click on this unlink button here. So the reason being, if you link these two, the mask and the color map both are linked. So when I move the color, the mask will move with it. So I don't want to do that. So turn this off. So now they are both separate. Now just zoom in, make a marquee selection on select the mask first, then make a marquee selection and just drag on it. So that has to be filled with white. So just invert selection, change this this foreground color to black, and just Alt Del and fill with white. So right now I got this section filled with white. If you alt left click on the mask, you can see the mask, just the mask. So it is white is here and black is around it. You can go back, alt left click on the mask, and you can come back. Now when I move this this layer using the move tool, and just hold down shift and drag, you can actually move this layer up. So that's a very convenient way to move a layer, right? So here the only thing I need to do is I need to find a way to blend these two. So what I'll do is I just bring it slightly back, maybe more than that, and manually go in and do the blending. I'll have about 10 or more than 10 layers just to get the nice blend, nice tiling across. So right now what I can do is take the mask and go into brush, make the brush like really soft, maybe. So right now it is around 80, so make it like really soft. So hardness is now at 0, size is okay, and just use black to just mask that off. So just sorry, I think I use white to bring it back. So bring back a little bit of the edge of the texture slightly. You can see that I'm actually I'm actually erasing that hard edge. Bring it back slightly into the view. So yeah, that's a good blend right now. We will deal with this after some time. So what I would like to do is I would like to really get a nice flow from the top to bottom. So save it. Again, make a copy of this scene. This one, and copy 2 is fine. Then we have a gap here, so bring it up here from the top and just use a mask and just fill with black so that you won't be seeing it at all. Then unlink it. Again, marquee selection tool, select this part a little bit to the top, and then just invert the colors and just fill, alt delete. You won't see any change because even this part is empty. And unlink it and move this side down. You got a pretty good layer blending effect there, right there. So here I'll bring it a little bit more to the bit here. And I'm going to use a mask use a soft brush to mix these two together. Let me try if the white works. No, white doesn't work. So let's try the black. So I'm going to hide this part. So blend it slightly. Okay. Now we will fill these remaining holes here. The first part is to do this one. So let me make another copy of this layer. Move it to the top. Don't worry about this because it is in the top now. So you do a layer mask, unlink. Now fill with black. Now just select this section. It is the same repetitive process, but you're just doing it again and again. That's all. So this one, select here, fill with white, and just move this layer up or down, whatever, whichever way you please. That's the bottom piece. I think we can use the bottom piece here. Slightly slightly different from the one we used before. Now I think it is better to use other one. There is slight. It is repetitive here, but we can fix it later. And do a little bit of brush. Bring the opacity. So we'll be revisiting this at a later stage to tweak it further, because of the tiling problems. If you see any tiling issues, like this kind of this chunk is really bad. This color, dark color here, can be very obvious when you tile along the tree, and it could be a big problem. Even stuff like this, it is repeating all over. That is really bad. But we can try to reduce all the tiling issues to a certain extent, because it is a really short tree trunk. Okay, now let's go ahead and fill up this gap. So before filling this gap, I need to find out where the unique section starts. So for that, I'm going back to designer. No, sorry, I'm back to max. Unwrap UV modifier, open UV editor, and let's do a sanity check. So if I select this bottom piece, the vertices of the bottom here, you can see it directly correlates with the unique pieces. And when I select this one here, it has no issue, no issues. So the bottom piece is connected only to the top one, so it's fine. I can directly tile. You can have a continuous tile here. It's fine in Photoshop. But the problem here is this chunk, this UV chunk has direct connection with the unique pieces. So whatever I do here, I have to be very careful, because if I cover this portion in Photoshop with whatever tile I want, it will spoil the connection between here and here. So the connection between here and here, what I mean is, I will show you. So this part is directly connected to here, right? So if the flow between these two is not correct, if something else is here, I can just draw it. This is better to explain. So if I draw something here, so this tiling is broken. Tiling is broken. That tiling means like the flow from the tiling part to unique, that'll be broken. That's a big problem. So the solution is to make another strip of mesh between these two, and use that to fix the tiling issue there. You understand when I do it. So for this mesh, I need to add one more tile. Let me first find out where the seams are. So this is the seam. This is where the seam is. I need to make a cut right below it. So I'll use these two sections here. So the seam is here, and I'll use 1, 2. This chunk I'll cut it out and use that as a second UV tile for blending the unique and the tileable. So to blend these two, I need to separate this one. So for that thing, I will first let me mark it with polygon, and I'll turn off the where is the option? Okay, turn off by select the angle, turn it off. Just select this section here. That could be the tiling strip. So I just had to make a copy of this. I'm just going to Control Shift drag. Make it an object. Then you have to align it back. So I'm just going to center move pivot and just manually move it back. You can even snap to any of the vertex. So go to here. Go to vertex mode. Select the vertex. No, don't select. Just move. Snap. Snap should be on. I just freeze the other one. So freeze this mesh pre-selection and just move it. Yeah, now it is perfectly snapping. Now unfreeze all. Now where is the object? So now I just name it as tiling strip for wall tree. Tiling strip low. Name it a tiling strip low. So the only problem with this one is the geometry is a little bit problematic here because I need continuous UV loops so that we get a perfect loop. And just remove this one from here. Maybe disconnect this and this, and delete this polygon from here. And now you go to edge constraint and move it slightly. So you won't lose the shape. I need two more edges here. So go to edge mode. Insert vertex will be one here and one here. Connect these two first. Move this edge. Move this edge slightly to the right to get a more cleaner loop. And add one more edge here. Connect all these three. And you can delete this edge. So now you're getting a very clean four-sided geometry polygon all across. Okay, that is good. And now we'll just name this as a tiling strip. So this is like tiling strip below. Save the file. Now again, when you unwrap this, it has to match with exactly the same seam from the original geometry. So unwrap it with an open UV editor. Now this one is totally random. So just go to element mode. Select everything. Okay. I just use quick planar map, and let me turn on this window. let's see where the seam is. So I need to collapse this and just select these two. Just know where the seams are. Okay, it has a match. Again, unwrap UV. Open web editor. Now when you bring this out a little bit, so bring this out of the one-to-one space. Now you have to find out where the seam is. So for the main tile, for these two, I'm going to find the seam. So the seam is right here. Okay. So this one also should have the same seam at the exactly the same location. So let me find that out. Where is it? It's opposite, so it should be somewhere around here. I think. Yeah, almost there. So that one, no, it should be here. Yeah, so that's a seam. So I'm just going to break it. Break it, and when you relax it, use this one here. Unfold. So it unfolded into this shape. Now we need to match it with exactly with these UV elements. So the main idea is to get a nice flow from tileable to unique. Okay. Select the UV. Flat. Middle one, make it flat. Flat. So vertical, make it like a square. It's a bit time consuming making this tileable piece. Okay, so this is where I'll be getting this the tiling strip properly. The tiling strip UV is properly aligned with the main trunk. So now we have a proper UV setup. Let me just tile this one properly. Should be good. Okay, that is now perfectly aligning with the main trunk. So the only thing you need to be careful about is like these all these loops have to properly align with the loops of the main trunk. That's all you need to do. So now the next step is to separate this tiling strip into its own bake. So once you get the UVs properly aligned and aligned with the main low poly mesh, export this trunk, this tiling strip as a separate piece. So we need to export it as an OBJ. Piece of wall tree. I don't know, so this is a mesh. And then textures, vegetation, trees, wall tree, source, substance, dependencies, mesh for bake. So another one, this tree bake tiling strip. Look. So in designer, bring this geometry in 3D mesh. Tree bake tiling strip. So this tiling strip will also form another. Will have its own normal, its own ambient occlusion, and its own color map. I mean albedo. So let's get that tiling strip. Big model information. So that is the strip we just made. That will be between the main tiling pieces. from the sources, tree big high. So all these are the same steps which we did before. There's no change. Here, size is 496. Maker, transfer texture from mesh. Let's get the texture file from the sources. Same, set wood. Then an annotation map from mesh. Normal map from mesh. Then we have a can get a curvature map from mesh and opacity mask. So that's all we need. So save back begin setup. Just get this rare value 0.05. Save and start render. So this will be over very fast because it is just the small strip. Okay, that is done. Now let's get all the textures down here. I'll just make this color map a little bit bigger. I'll move the mask to another group. This is big, naked, sorry. I just, okay. Masked. Sorry. What did I try to do? Baked masks. So instead of B, I type N, so it became naked. Okay, so that is for the mask. Now let's bring in the tiling strip. So this is the color map, and this is a normal. Then for the ambient occlusion, give more space and ambient occlusion. I don't need curvature. Keep it in the Explorer for now. Now let's get an AO first. Let me just copy these. Sorry. Copy and paste. The normal will be from here. So normals is like I need to invert normal. No invert. So green channel is inverted. Invert green is true. So that is we have a nice known AO. Now let's get what is this? Yeah, we don't need this. Okay, so this one AO you can use for removing the AO from the color map. So now just let me copy these down here. I'll get the color map here and then an inclusion from here. So that is a clean bake. This is with AO, without AO, lighting remove, low and high frequencies. So this, then I'll just blend this one and the previous color map and use a latest mask for this one. So if you look here, now it's a really nice tiling texture. So this is the previous one without that tiling strip. Once I add it, so from here it goes straight to the unique pieces. So in my opinion, this is the most important part of this whole process. So this part has to be properly done, otherwise you will get a lot of artifacts in the unique section. So this part you can do whatever you want with this here, because it is just safe. So this part is not safe because it has to match with the unique pieces. That is what the tiling strip does. Final, go on there. Then for the ambient occlusion, we can blend it once more. Just multiply. Yeah, that is perfect. Now just give it to roughness and ambient occlusion output. That's pretty much it actually. There's the tiling strip. Okay, let me just go zoom out and see if everything is good. So normals are not connected now. So normals, you need to have one more blend to connect this normal. This one with the other one. So this one here and this normal. Just give it a overlay. That should be perfect. If you check this, it will have proper normals as well. Yeah, that's good. So this is the previous one, and this is with the tiling strip. So guys, this is the most important piece of the puzzle. Okay, so the whole tiling texture, if you don't have a proper blending between the unique and the tiling piece, the whole thing is going to look awkward. But if you have this tiling strip here, which connects the unique and the tiling portion of the bark properly, then you get a neat and seamless blend. Okay, now let me check the ambient occlusion is fine. Roughness is good. Yeah, roughness is good for the whole thing. Just cross checking if everything is good. Yeah, everything looks good. Okay, now we can just export this. It won't make any change in the final texture. Unreal, and just reimport this 3 textures. It's not making any change. The same. So this part we will come back later to fix that little bit of seam over there. I'll just save all good. Okay, now let's that was going to Photoshop. Now let me update with the all textures with the tiling strip. So this is the one with tiling strip. Copy it. So what you can do is go into smart layers. That's very easy. So just paste it here. See the one with tiling strip. So you got one extra layer on top. So just name it color and just delete this one. Same gives a normal. I'm going to designer, get the normals out, copy Photoshop. So this is how you update this texture when you have a smart object. Smart object makes it very easy to make changes to texture. Normal is done. Now let's go to AO occlusion. Yeah, I don't need. Oh, wait. So that is why I was skipping that layer. Okay, in that node. So just blend the first two without. Sorry. First one. You can use this mask for it. First mask. Be like this. Sorry, the other way. Okay, the first one is there, and this second one with another blend. Another blend. with this one at the top, border, and let's get the mask from here. Okay, now we got the whole thing. So this is without that strip and this is with the strip. So this section we'll use for Photoshop. So I'll just group it as a AO for smart object. So like we want exporting this. This is just for the smart object. So just double click on this, copy the AO in Photoshop, just paste it. So this name goes here and delete this layer. Now roughness should be pretty straightforward. This is very straightforward because it's coming from the color. So copy in Photoshop, just paste it here and just copy this name to here and delete that layer, and it should be done. So that is done. Now let's change to color and save the smart layer. It's saved. You get the update. So that is actually our tiling texture right there. So the new update was here. Basically, if you check the designer file, the color map, if you zoom in, so you can actually look at these two shapes and check if those two shapes are here in the Photoshop file. For some reason they are not here. Let me hide these. Oh, okay, because this layer is hiding it. Just hide this layer. You don't need it. Okay, so what we'll do is I'll just mask this area, because the top area is a little bit too much obvious right now. So I'll use a black color for it to erase it. So you have the clean. Well, first I'll just erase it fully. Again, bring it back slowly. There's a tiling strip at the top. Then use white to bring it back. Smaller size brush and wait, white. Bring it back slightly. So remember, this is the first pass. So we'll just use this texture as is, and then later come back and fix the tiling. Because now we know how to use smart objects in Photoshop to get a nice tiling. Now the only problem is, no, that's done. So let's keep this for now for the tiling, for the final geometry, and we will come back and later on fix these issues. Like issues are like you can actually say it, like they are very obvious. So like this repeating patterns are like, one is okay, but like when you have all of those like repeating like that is not good. Also these pieces are not good, so these are not good. So let's come back and do just remove some of these, or you can actually turn them on the other way. Even this one is a big problem. So the problems are because we have only a really small trunk to play with, but we'll fix it. So in the next next few hours of this video, we will try to remove all these tiling problems. Okay, now we are going to save the tiling fix, the textures after the tiling fix. So first let's save the textures as PNG format inside tiling fix folder. I already did some tests before. So this is the color map which we'll be using in for the final texture. Map is done. Now go back, turn the color off, save it. So once it is saved, this texture will update. Save as PNG for normal. For the next one, this is AO. Just save the smart object. It will update the main file to AO. Now save it as again as PNG. AO here. That's done. Now go to the roughness. Save as PNG. Oh. No wait. So this is you get save. And save this as a PNG. Tiling fix. Roughness. That's it. Now let's open Designer and just import all these textures into Designer. So in this resources, I will create a new folder called, and I will name it tiling fix, and just link those textures. If first find out in must be dependencies, tiling fix. So import all these 4 textures. So we'll be using this for the final export. There's no difference, just drag these in. So for the color, just drag this color here, just below the shadow removal. So if you check these two, this is actually tiling fix and this is the shadow removal, original. So keep this as a safe backup, because if you need to go back and change something, you can always do it. So this is the final texture which will go into the game. For normal, I'll just make it a bit bigger, slightly. Normal should be here. Now if you compare these two, you can see that we have filled up all those empty spaces. Now just use this for the final texture. Same thing goes with ambient occlusion. AO, drag it here. So this is the final layer we are going with. Has to be grayscale. Yeah, this is a bit different because we only used the AO from the big. So keep this as the final AO. It'll be slightly less dark, but that's fine, because we don't need too much of darkness in it for the final texture. Then roughness. So in roughness, same process, we just bring it in. Roughness we'll bring here. So remember that we can always go back and tweak whichever textures we need. Okay, so that is for roughness for the final map. So there you go. Okay, after that we will just connect everything into the material and just do a final export. Export outwards, then we don't metallic. That's done. We'll do a quick check in Unreal if everything is fine. So here to here, re-import. There you go. You got all the textures. You don't see any difference here. That is because we don't have the tree top yet. So this is only taking the information from the top and the unique. So this from here and the bottom piece and the unique section. That's all you're seeing in the final mesh for now. So that is how you make the tileable texture for a bark, for a tree bark. Then in the next part, I'll be explaining how to make it into a big tree trunk using a tileable texture. By that time, I might have fixed all these problems inside the texture. Like let me save this. You can see the smart material, like all these repeating patterns. There's a gap here, so I'll be filling all those, and we will go from there. Thank you for watching.